If you've never survived a major hurricane, let me tell you, that shit is very traumatic. So when I was 12, on August 24th, 1992, yes, I'm dating myself, but who cares? Hurricane Andrew barreled through Miami-Dade County and just so happens to have the eye very close to where I lived, and therefore flattened a lot of neighborhoods beyond recognition, right? And so I got to experience the walls breathing because our house was breached from a tree falling through my bedroom window, landing on my bed that I had just abandoned, right? And so the walls breathed and the tiles rattled, and there was a sound of trains outside, which I later learned was a tornado, which skipped through our neighborhood and happened to miss our home. So, if that wasn't traumatic enough, fast forward to 2005, when I was a teacher, I went to school, and the kids were like, "Miss, do we have school tomorrow?" It was like a Wednesday. And I was like, or it was a Tuesday, and I think this thing was supposed to hit on Wednesday. And I was like, why wouldn't we? They were like, well, because we're supposed to have a hurricane tomorrow. Now, that's not usually how hurricanes work. Usually you have a few days lead up to understanding that there is going to be a hurricane so you can prepare. Well, Katrina wasn't with that. Katrina popped up somewhere around like the Bahamas, and next thing you know, she came through Florida. Now, she wasn't supposed to come down my area. She was supposed to go up north towards the Palm Beach counties and whatnot, right? Well, I just was listening to a radio because power had went out, and all of a sudden we hear, well, she dipped. And so she came down my area. Guess who, as a single mom of 2 young boys, was not prepared for a hurricane? Not a single plywood, which, by the way, doesn't really do that much. Not a hurricane shutter, nothing. So Katrina comes through just above us, the eye-wise, but obviously we still got hit with the hurricane. And I got to watch purple lightning, green lightning, blue lightning as transformers popped. And like, I'm listening very heavily for the trains to see if we are getting a tornado. So I had to experience this as a single mom, totally unprepared. And between those 2 hurricanes, I was traumatized. But a strange thing happened since then. Every season, I would start having dreams about tornadoes. And if I counted the tornadoes in my dreams, I would know how many hurricanes were due to hit in Florida and whether or not they would hit Miami. Now, I had those dreams every year since Hurricane Katrina, and they were 100% correct every single year. I knew when to panic, and I knew when to prepare, and I knew when to peace out and chill and just enjoy the day off from work. And these lasted until I moved to Georgia, and that was the first year that I did not have this tornado nightmare, premonition dream, whatever. So I lived in Georgia from 2016 until 2023, the summer of 2023. And in all this time, I didn't have the anxiety, nor did I have any of those nightmares. Even the first year of being down in Florida again, because that's where I am, I did not have that nightmare. I didn't have time to have the nightmare. I moved back down here during hurricane season, and fortunately, it was quiet. And then last year also, I didn't have the nightmare, or at least I don't remember. And for us down in Miami, it was quiet. Unfortunately, over on the West Coast and some of Palm Beach, y'all got dealt the one too with the big hurricanes from the Gulf of Mexico. Anyway, but last week I had a premonition dream. My dad was driving in the dream, and I was like passenger seat or something. My dad was driving in the dream, and we could see one of those Twister type of tornadoes, like the Twister movie, like, you know, those F things, F5s, F4, whatever the F numbers are. and we could just see it barreling down this, like, parallel to us. And my dad is just racing this way. And I'm like, Dad, why are you doing this? It's going there. Stay where you are. And so I took that dream to mean that there is going to be a huge hurricane. And it was western. So I think it is going to come from the Gulf again, because it was west to us. So there was a huge hurricane. A huge tornado, excuse me. There was a huge tornado. Tornadoes are easy to count, I guess, in my dream. You know, like if I see the spouts, then I can count them. Huge, huge, huge. So it's going to be another bad one. I'm the baddie, thanks to the 5th graders. It's going to be another bad one. It was huge, like just huge and kicking up dust and whatever. And I told my dad to stay put. And so from my understanding then, that means at least for those of us in Southeast Florida, I don't know about Southwest, but Southeast Florida, when we get that threat of a hurricane, we need to stay put. We can't race north because it's going to go north. And so all we'll do is just run directly into it. That's the message I got from that dream. But then last night, y'all, and I don't know if I got this because of reading about the tornadoes and stuff that happened over the previous 2 days. And thanks to not having NOAA, NOAA, and all that stuff, people weren't prepared. And so we are at dozens of people having lost their lives across the 3 states that got hit by these twisters, these tornadoes. But last night I had a dream with a lot of them. And honestly, it was so many I couldn't count. So I feel like that wasn't a premonition dream. At least for those of us in Southeast Florida, because, you know, it's about where I'm going to be. So at least I know there's going to be that one really big one. And I'm very sure the West Coast is going to have maybe a repeat of last year. I don't know. So be prepared for that is what I'm going to say. Be prepared for that. As far as everybody else, I do feel like this is going to be not a quiet hurricane season. So everyone else who's in Gulf states or, you know, coastal states, even all the way up to New York, because yeah, y'all had Hurricane Sandy, and according to the pattern, y'all do tend to get hit with something like every 68, 70 days, 70 years or something like that. Sandy may have counted, but there's also this factor that did not count, and that is humans, the cancer of the earth, has ruined the earth. I won't even say humans have ruined the earth. Capitalism has ruined the earth. Greed and capitalism, like the likes of what we see in the cabinet and in the administration, they've ruined the earth. And so our axis is tilted, the polar vortex is different, like everything's shifting and different, and Mother Nature is pissed as hell. So even all the way up north, prepare. Even any coastal states, just be prepared, y'all. Just be prepared. On top of the shortages and tariffs and stuff that we got going on, be prepared. Be prepared. Probably get those water dispensers so that you can have huge jugs saved. You know, they say it's something like 1 gallon a day per person is what you need to have on hand. Batteries, matches, candles, flashlights, canned food, can opener, non-electric. If you got money, get generators. Y'all know what to do. Be prepared this season. I do think last night's dream was just dreamy nightmare, not premonition. Actually, no, it was, I'm getting a feeling, it was premonition. It's going to be a busy season. It's just not premonition for me. It's premonition for us. It's going to be a busy season. Y'all already see floods, earthquakes, everything is happening. Mother Nature's pissed. Pissed. So we need to be prepared. All right, y'all.